What a joy to be with you today and celebrate the new Antoinette Brown Society awardees. I'm Reverend Tara Barber, and it's a privilege to serve among you and to be the liaison to the Antoinette Brown Society and to share a bit more about Reverend Antoinette Brown before we introduce you to our awardees. We honor her as one of our firsts. She was ordained in a congregational church in 1853, and we celebrate that she was the first white woman ordained into mainline Christianity in the United States. And we often stop there. But let's go a bit deeper, shall we? Antoinette Brown knew something about the deep. She spent her life in the deep waters of faith and justice, risking everything for the sake of a better life for all people. And it's important to know that she was an abolitionist well before the Civil War and later a proponent of the 14th Amendment. She was an early suffragette committed to expanding the vote not only to white women but to all people. She advocated for basic human rights, food, housing, safety, and in taking these stances, she risked her position in the church and in society. In fact, she didn't last long in the congregational church. Deemed too radical, too pushy, too this or too that, she went to fish and serve in other waters. As we trace our lineage to her, we recognize the continued struggle to serve in those deep waters, at the intersection of faith and justice, of race and gender, of advocacy and organizing and pushing for a better life for all of God's people. We are grateful that the pathways for women in ministry are wider today than they were for Reverend Brown. And still in the United Church of Christ, we are recognizing firsts for women, from local church pastors to chaplains to our own general minister and president, women who are gifted to minister in bold and prophetic ways. In 1975, the United Church of Christ began recognizing clergy women whose faith transformed lives as pioneers and trailblazers. And 10 years ago, the Antoinette Brown Society was reformed to honor those at the intersection of church and society. 3 years ago, the Antoinette Brown Society leadership committed to focus on the intersection of race and gender and ministry, recognizing that racism and sexism continue to diminish ministries and wound ministers called to serve in our denomination. And our work continues to expand, partnering with the Gender Justice Team to provide connection and faith-filled support in the months leading up to General Synod, widening the welcome at our upcoming leadership gathering to include those preparing for and engaging in ministry beyond ordination, and reaching to better connect across cultures and identities and genders. Today we celebrate the trailblazers in our midst, the women who lead in extraordinary ways, who impact communities and mentor leadership, multiplying the ministries of those around them. Today it is my privilege to share our trailblazing clergy women.